Arsenal are struggling. They're sat around 4th place at the time of recording, and after failing to win in their last 3 games, it's clear we need to step in and shake things up. But here's the twist, the rebuild comes with a challenge. We're going all in on youth development. Every new signing must be 21 or younger, and over the next 5 seasons, we'll clear out the veterans to build a squad of pure young talent. Luckily, Arsenal's academy is already loaded, with stars like FM24, Miles Lewis-Skelly, and of course, the star man, Bukayo Saka. We've got the foundation to create something incredible. The goal, nothing short of lifting the Premier League and the Champions League, all within the same season. But let's get right into it, no more time to waste. And this is Arsenal inside of the game. Now, we know how good Arsenal are. Although they haven't won a Premier League in quite a long time, they definitely are along the right sort of lines, and in the game, an immaculate reputation, great training, great youth, and also decent but okay youth recruitment. Nothing too special, but it will get the job done. The owners absolutely love the club. The stadium is absolutely immaculate, and the money is definitely there. Now, let's not forget, as a team, Arsenal have won a lot of trophies, but as you can see, they're missing that big Champions League. 13 Premier Leagues, 1 European Cup, 1 Europa League, 14 FA Cups, 2 Carabao Cups, and of course what they're known for, that Community Shield. Now, what I will say is, we are of course the main aim going to try and win them a Champions League, but along the way I would be lying if I don't want to win another couple of Premier League titles, maybe another FA Cup, a Carabao Cup, try and bring more trophies back to this London team, because they are really a big name. Money-wise, if you are playing back home, you would have had 5.6, of course. For us, we are not going to spend a single penny, and luckily for us, we've got some great players we could call up anyway. So let's go over and see what system we're playing, but firstly, what competitions are we in? So we are in 4 competitions, the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup, and we are predicted to finish inside of 4th place. Pretty realistic like they are in real life. For me, considering the team we're playing, obviously built upon young players, selling some older players, we might fall down a little bit in the first season, so I'm going to say anything inside the top 6, I'll happily take. Of course, to actually play this, we are going to be deploying the Arteta 4-3-3. Now, this does change over the rebuild, but I will say, if you do want to get the tactic that we used in the rebuilds and the rebuild file, you can come and check out the Patreon. It will be on the screen right now, where you can join the other 5,000 people that unlock all of my rebuild files and all of my tactics and get in on this month's massive cash giveaway. But the tactic we're going to be deploying is going to be the Arteta 4-3-3. Now, obviously, it's relevant, Arteta, and it does suit the players really well. Now, I've gone through the entire squad right now. I've transfer listed some of the older players that I want to cash in on when I can. We can't obviously release everyone instantly, because then we're going to stand no chance, but the players that are going to be locked in for season 1 is going to be Caliafori, a player who I will say I don't think has been as good as what they would have thought potentially, but for us he's going to be locked in and be given the ideal chance at left back. Going up to the midfield, Lewis-Skelly, a player that I really do like, therefore, we have locked him in midfield. Again, tons of potential, 17 years of age, great for registration, a very, very good player for this project. Namweri. Now, this guy is a baller, a serious talent, and I do think he's going to get very far in his football career. And for us, we have also got to decide to lock him in that midfield role. Now, honestly, very similar to Lewis as well. He is 17, great for registration as well. So they are literally the perfect players. And the perfect players carry on. Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side, 22 years of age, but of course, been at Arsenal since 2017. So you do the maths on his age for that one. He's been here a very, very long time, a model citizen, and you know what? The key of this Arsenal team. Now, they're the players we're locking in. The players we've got on the bench, we have got still some, obviously, younger people if we go and have a look. Obviously, we've got Martinelli on the left wing, Timber, Saliba, Fabio Vieira. Anyone past 26, 27 might be when we start to have a conversation where they might be moved on. The people that are definitely getting moved on, Neto, Jorginho, Partey, Trossard, Sterling, them sort of people are 100% going to be moved on ASAP, and then we can replace them with young upcoming talent. And I will every season check the squad to make sure we're not missing out on fresh Arsenal talent. If not, we will spend money to go and sign under 21 youth players. But let's get into season 1, see how we do. For me, anything in the top 6. Let's make it happen. So I'm actually surprised we're in a cup final already against Everton, and although it is the Carabao Cup, we get off to a great start with Martin Odegaard inside of 26 minutes. We are then going to go down the left with Caliafori, eventually finding Jesus in the middle, and one last goal to gain a 3-goal advantage, I will say. Martin Odegaard into Starboy Bukayo Saka. Now, Everton do get a consolation, but it doesn't affect the outcome. We are also going to win the Premier League, which I will say was a big surprise, considering we've got a lot of players locked in, or 3 players locked in, I suppose, that might not be guaranteed the minutes. But I will say it was also done very convincingly, only losing 3 games against Tottenham, Villa and Newcastle. Man City nowhere near the races, neither are Liverpool. United down in 9th, Chelsea down in 14th. I mean, a awful season. Jesus, of course, does play in that striker role, scores 32, so eventually we are going to bring in a younger player to replace an aging player in that role. Saka, Jesus, Odegaard, David Raya, I mean, players doing what they should do. They have really, really, really impressed me, but I'm going to dive right into this because a bigger shock happened, nearly, very closely, a Champions League final exit. We got to the Champions League final in Season 1, and Arsenal, unfortunately, are going to fall to Atletico Madrid on penalties. And do you know what? We could have easily beaten them, 100%. But unfortunately, Atletico Madrid have got that dirty style. They can seal out a game, play for penalties, and that's probably what they were after from the minute 1, to be honest with you. I mean, the FA Cup as well, a 5th round exit against Manchester United. As you can see here, we are going to be losing again on penalties. Clearly, we need penalty practice because we can't win a single one. But I mean, overall, 2 seasons, 1 season, 2 trophies so far, the Carabao Cup and the Premier League. That is a very, very good entry to what is a 5-year plan. The 5-year plan was to try and win the Premier League. We've already smashed that. The 5-year plan is now winning the Champions League. We're off to a flyer. And the money, well, the money is absolutely remarkable. I mean, £154 million to go and spend. I think we might want to go and check the transfers because I've got a feeling with this money sort of available, someone's got to have gone. And to be fair, it's just the one real big player to talk about. It is going to be Thomas Partey going to PSG for 21 million. I will say he was not going to get anywhere near my team, and we recover almost half the money that we paid for him. He's a decent player in the game, but he's 31. No way has he got a future here. But looking at the actual key players, and we can see the players that we locked in, Bukayo Saka 35 and 27, 5 and 12 for Ethan, Lewis Skelly 3 and 4, quite a quiet season there, and Caliafori doing okay actually, 6 goals and 5 assists. But the best 11, we always do to see who actually gets into the team, and as you can see, Jesus drops to 50 goals. Martinelli 21 and 11, 15 and 27 for Martin Odegaard, and I mean, genuinely a really good performance from everyone, even the locked in players who are upcoming talents had a great season. Fabio Vieira also enjoyed a great season out on loan. You can see here quite a good contribution from him, so maybe he gets some minutes, you never know, next season. But I think realistically looking at this team, if we filter by age, for example, I love doing this, these are the players that can go. Neto, Jorginho, Trossard, Sterling. I'm going to keep Raya for now. I'll listen to offers for Zinchenko, I always butcher that name. There's a lot of players in this team who can get the boot, and that is not because they're bad players, it's because we are trying to go under a big rebuild youth project. So let's go over into season 2 of the transfers after winning 2 very big trophies, and well, let's try and improve. Another big player that is going to be leaving, and I was going to hold on to him for one more season, but he is now 28. It is going to be Gabriel. Now, I know this guy is incredible in real life, but please do remind yourselves it is a youth rebuild. He is going to be closer to 30 than 20, and at the end of the day, when you get an offer of over double compared to what you pay for him, you have got to take it. That does mean Liverpool have gained an incredible centre-back, but we have gained 50 million that we can invest in another youngster. We didn't get anything for Jorginho. The contract was coming up, but it does free up a big wage budget. And as you can see, he's going to go on the free and play 20 games and literally do nothing. Classic Jorginho. Signing 1 is going to be Andrea Santin. Now, if this doesn't work, I am blaming our scouting team because I've taken a punt. I've decided in my little head that I am going to try and lock in this player for a season. And if he gets absolutely cooked, then Raya can obviously bail him out halfway through. But I will say, as goalkeepers go, we paid a total of 13 million. He's done okay for a first Prem season and his value shot up. So I think he has got a lot of potential. He does look quite nervous in the picture though. A man who won't be nervous is going to be Endrick. Now, again, I signed him in the previous one. Don't worry, we are also going to add new faces every youth only, but considering he's available in the second season and we can afford him, we've got to take the punt. And I tell you what, he comes in and actually doesn't do as well as what I've seen him do in past FM sort of saves. So I tell you what, it's okay, but it's not exactly electric. And we've spent, I mean, £82 million. I'm not going to say it's electric by any means. And he was locked in. We'll start off with the Premier game because apparently we are the team to beat now. Back-to-back Premier League titles, this time by 1 point. Man City really bouncing back into the swing of things. Tottenham and United make up the rest of the Champions League places. And it is going to be Bukayo Saka finishing in second place when it comes to the goals and the average rating and the assists. Second place all the way round. It's going to be Santin actually joint second with the clean sheet. So again, clearly the goalkeeper doing something right. But considering it's 2 years in, I'm going to take 2 titles and I'm going to run with it. Unfortunately, the Champions League, we are going to fall back a place, and unfortunately, Liverpool of all teams, a team that we probably helped out, to be honest, by selling Gabriel to, but for the video purpose, we done it. We're here to entertain. They are going to go on into the final, so it is a step back, but I don't think we're anywhere near ready to really win the Champions League just yet. A very dramatic game here, the FA Cup final against Leicester, and we get off to a great start inside of 40 minutes with Endrick going through and scoring. And now Leicester attempt to play it over the top and succeeds. And Maviidi is an absolute baller right there. A great goal coming in there. We're then going to get some play from Caliafori into Martinelli, into Endrick, who's going to make it 2-1 in 49 minutes. Caliafori again into Odegaard, into Moreno, into Martinelli to make it 3-1. And you would think that would be the game nice and comfortable. Oh no, it wasn't, because Leicester go and get a goal here. A great goal from Andre Silva, and that is going to make it 3-2. And they go and make it 3-3 in the last kick of the game, and we're into extra time. Simple as that, where luckily Saliba sort of knocks it back, cuts inside, and it is going to be Jesus making it 4-3. And to finish an 8-goal thriller, a 5-3 win, will take it from Trossard. Unfortunately, runners up in the Community Shield against Liverpool again, and look, it's another penalty shootout. And the last trophy was the Carabao Cup, the 4th round exit, unfortunately, this time against Bournemouth. Don't be on penalties. Oh my God, it's on penalties again. We cannot win a penalty shootout to save our lives. I mean, honestly, absolutely diabolical when it comes to pens. Hopefully we get to no other penalty shootout because we literally can't win one. But I mean, overall, it is still going to be another 2 trophies added to that collection, 2 big Premier League titles, and of course an FA Cup. So we are going to take that with any, I did not think we were going to come into this with young players and hit the ground running, but we are somewhat getting it done. Money-wise, oh, money, there we go. We have got £156 million to go and spend, and of course, still some players we can offset. The question is, how many more people can we realistically sell? Well, I mean, firstly, we'll look at the players' performance, how they done locked into these positions. Our goalkeeper dropped to 6.62 overall. It's okay for an entry season. Caliafori does well again, 10 and 7. 6 and 7 for Ethan. It's pretty average, to be honest. 37 and 18 for Saka. Incredible. I also did lock in Martinelli for a season because Saka's getting the treatment. Only fair Martinelli does. And Endrick, 26 and 3. It's okay. I will say that I've seen Endrick bag loads more in his first season and in harder situations. So it does surprise me a little bit. But the best team filtered by the game still does have Jesus in there. It's got Martinelli, it's got Saka, it's got Declan Rice, Odegaard, Cookin, 13 and 23. A real powerhouse team. And it is going to take time for some of our key players to be chosen by the game. It might not even ever happen, but we are going to try and really make this a full turnaround over this 5-year plan. Now, the ages, again, we can see Trossard is up for sale. Raya is staying for 1 more season unless it is a mental offer. Moreno can go, Zinchenko can go, Tierney can go, Ben White can go, Tomiyasu can go. Those are the names I'm looking to sell. Everyone else I'm going to keep for now until I've basically got a good youngster that I think can almost fill their void. And so far, we've only really made a couple of really big sort of wonder kid young player signings. So it is going to take time. It's a project, not an instant result. So let's go over into season 3 after winning 2 very big trophies and with a budget of 160 million and with players to sell. That budget could easily turn to 200 mil plus. And that's exactly what happened. Trossard is going to go on the free. Unfortunately, again, no team wanted to pay money, so he is going to go there, and he actually enjoys a great season with Napoli. It's nothing personal against Trossard. He is 32. Nothing anywhere close to the age of players I want in this team. And I've gone big, and a lot of people won't like it, but he is 27. He wasn't playing that well, wasn't even really getting in the team. Kai Havertz is going to go to Real Madrid for 111 million. Now, we have somehow made profit on Kai Havertz, and I will say he did do very well at Madrid in his first season, but that is a lot of money added to our budget. Therefore, we can really splash the cash. And we splashed the cash big time. Simply just on Kai Havertz, we almost spent that amount of money on one player. That is going to be bringing in Emery. Now, this guy is a serious baller, and them stats don't do him justice because he dropped above a 7 match rating. He is Mr. Consistent. He's very well balanced, can play all over the park as well. If there's a player you pick up that fits into a youth system, he is going to be your man. And you know what? Although he's on a ridiculous amount of money per week, I do not regret spending that money at all because it's like a Gavi signing, you know? It's once in a lifetime. We're also going to pick up Zach Brown. No, not the McLaren. Not McLaren Zach Brown. Another Zach Brown. And he looks quite frightening, I'll be honest with you. But apparently he's got tons of potential. It's not a massive investment. It's 18 million for a very, very good young player. And I will say he's 17. And look at the tackling. He looks like an absolute brick wall. I mean, he just looks like an absolute nut job, to be honest. I'm absolutely buzzing we've got him in. And I think that is going to be a great future signing, hopefully. We're also going to go and pick up Trey from Liverpool for £32 million. Again, a very, very good young player whose value has instantly come over and doubled right from the bat. We actually send him out on loan and he does play 14 games, picks up 3 assists. Not a bad sort of loan season, I suppose, although it's not great. It's okay for season 1. His value's on the up as well. So, to be honest, with these young players, what I like to think about is I want them to turn into absolute machines. But if they don't, as long as we turn a profit on them, we still haven't lost anything, you know? So, we pay for what was 32 million. His value now at 61 to 89. If he doesn't have a great season, next season after, we can easily cash in double and it's going to be no worries at all. We also are going to go over and pick up Mikel Noni coming in from Real Sociedad for 650k. Now, he doesn't play a game, and I will say he might not play a game, but I'm very tempted to loan him out. I had to get him for the value he was at. The scouting team was literally drilling me about getting him. And you know what? If you actually just have a look on your screen right now, his attributes are absolutely fantastic. 19 years of age, very well rounded. And again, a player that although won't get into the team right away, for the future, definitely one to look at. And another player to look at is going to be Vitor Roque. Now, we've got the Endrick, we've got Vitor Roque. He comes in for 78 million and he's absolutely stunk up the gaff. He's stunk up the gaff. Now, I will say, in his defence, he did have a few games on the left, not always up front. He wasn't locked in, so he's not going to be always playing in one position. Now, that doesn't excuse him for them sort of stat lines, but he is a player that still has that potential, and I don't think we need to loan him out. But it does mean, in this one window, we have signed 5 incredible players. We've lost a load of players. The key ones I did talk about, the ones that aren't as important, I'm going to just skip over because they're not even really going to get game time anyway. But we've brought in 5 big additions. Is that going to make the difference in the Champions League? Let's go and find out. Before we do, though, I mean, the Premier League apparently is now the PSG, the French league, that situation, because we're winning it every single year. Man City 4 points off this time. Gabriel Jesus, joint second goal scorer there with Omega, and Erling Haaland clearing both of them by 12 goals. I mean, honestly, he is something, isn't he? Bukayo Saka, the best player in the league overall and the most assists, and David Raya, obviously also going back in goal now, so 20 clean sheets from him. I don't mind it, but it's getting a little bit boring now within the Premier League. A little bit of a challenge. Come on. And just when I wanted to challenge, I get humbled because we are going to fall back again another step in the Champions League where we're going to get plastered by Real Madrid 4-1. The FA Cup final again, and it is going to be Leicester. And you know what? They come out on the hot foot now and go 1-0 up inside of 27 minutes. Caught me off guard personally. But luckily, literally a minute after, with Saka down the right-hand side into Gabriel Jesus to tie it up 1-1. And I will give credit to Leicester. They did try, and they did. I mean, the signings they've got, by the way, Tammy Abraham in the team, they are going to go back 2-1 up. Where have they got that money from? No idea. We do equalise though with a goal from Martinelli inside of 47 minutes, but it goes again. 2 extra time, Vitor Roque into Rice, into Roque. Eventually, is he claiming that? That's a big claim, that is. And one last goal from Saliba. We'll take it. I mean, this is really disappointment now because, I mean, we go over to the 4th round and we are going to lose on penalties again against Leicester. We literally can't win on penalties. We are an absolute disaster when it comes to that. And to finish it off, we also are going to lose against Man City in the Community Shield, meaning, again, it is going to be just the 2 trophies. Now, I'm not saying that in a bad way, by the way, because we are using a younger team and we're not expected to go and win the quadruple in Season 3. But it's the fact that these penalty shootouts, they're really getting to me now. I just want to win one. I don't care what stage it's in, what competition, I want to win a penalty shootout, because apparently we simply can't. Going into the next season, we are going to have... The budgets have been so nice this video. We've got a total of £141 million before we've sold anyone. So let's go over to the tactic page now, see who's been performing and see who we can sell. If you are enjoying, by the way, please do leave a like and subscribe. And once again, if you enjoy rebuilds, you can come and watch me live, where we're basically doing one live. So come on over, twitch.tv/JoshDaily. I'd love to see you over there. Let's go and see how we done with the players in Season 3. So then we did look at Endrick, but I don't think he got a lot of game time because Jesus has outscored him by quite a fair few goals. I mean, 27 for Gabriel Jesus, 17 for Martinelli, 31 for Saka, Mikel coming in there with 13, 17 for Odegaard, Emery 3 and 9, a pretty average season, but his role is to just hold that position. I'm not expecting 90 assists a season, you know what I mean? So as long as he's dropping close to a 7 rating, I'm more than happy. Of course, we go down the list. Kieran Tierney 1 and 1, 8 and 9 for Fabio Vieira, 5 goals from Vitor Roque. Pretty concerning. 4 and 7 for Reece Nelson. Again, a player that I've not even talked about. He's tried time and time again to make it work at Arsenal. It's not really happening, so I might offload him. Endrick scored 1 goal and got 1 assist. We'll just cut that bit out of the video. I mean, that's pretty concerning. Caliafori didn't do anything either. Interesting. Trey's out on loan with 3 assists, and other than that, there is nothing really to talk about. So this season's not been the season of youth. Let's just say that. The young players haven't really done too much, and I think we're now at a big crossroads because we've got 2 more seasons, so we've got time, but we need to bring in a lot more of these young players, not only to set up the sort of team for me, but for those of you that are going to play on that Patreon save file, then of course you want a team ready for the future. And you know me, I care for you that play the save file, so I am going to try and go out and sign quite a fair few good youngsters. Let's get into Season 4. How much have we got again? 141. Let's get rolling. So our first signing is not even with us at the moment. He is joining next year. That is going to be Daniele Inanali, please how you say that, coming in from the likes of Frosinone in the Italian league. He is a player who's been scouted to me. He didn't cost me that much money either, and we need a good young right back. So whether he's back up, whether he's going to go out on loan, for the price we paid, I don't mind. Signing 1 is going to be Andy Harwood, coming in from Brighton, a player who looks absolutely fantastic at left back, can also hack play and inverted as well, so very helpful. He is very quick, he's got good stamina, he's got good teamwork, 15 tackling at the age of 19, English, great for registration. We did pay £59 million, and he didn't really play many games, if any games at all, to be honest. So I am going to make sure he is locked in for next time because he needs to play some games. Now, he might have played a few cup games, but in the Premier League, he didn't. Now, this is a player that needs game time because the potential's literally through the roof. A Manchester United fan signs a Manchester United player. That is going to be Lenny Yoro. Now, we've not seen him play in real life really at United because of the injury, but in the game, he's okay. We may have overpaid £75 million, but he does meet the criteria of being a younger player. We signed him at 21. He's now pushed into the 22 category, so we've not cheated, don't worry. He doesn't play too many games, but as a backup option and one for the future, and a player that holds his value quite well, it's smart business. Now, if you played Football Manager and you've not heard of this guy, firstly, I'm very surprised because Naipan is an absolute baller. Now, you spend money to get him. We spent 40 million and he done very good in his first season. 21 appearances, 6 assists and 2 goals for a player who is still only 21. So a very young player. And if you look at him, he is so good because he can play in so many different positions. He's so versatile, and that's exactly why I brought him in, because we've got so many good players, but we need one now who's a young player and doesn't mind getting stuck in different areas, and Naipan ticks that off in every circumstance. And lastly is going to be Kylian Prevot, coming in from, I believe, the Belgian league, Anderlecht, for 3.7 million, purely for backup. But just look at him. He's 18 years of age, 14 tackling, great teamwork, 20, 2-0 determination, 17 concentration, great bravery, great acceleration, great agility. He's rapid, he's strong, he's got everything going for him. He looks like an absolute unit, and even at centre-back, he's got it going for him. So this is a player who will 100% be getting locked in for that last season because he is a serious player. But we went into the 4th season and it's going to be another Premier League title, 4 out of 4, while rebuilding an entire team. This just shows that, you know, the Liverpool's, United, City's, Tottenham's, Chelsea's, whoever, they've not been up to the race at all, because 2 of our players are getting the top goals, 2 of our players again in the average rating, and also in the assists. If you're wondering why Jesus is getting into the team, that's because I didn't lock in a striker, because I wanted to see if the game plays the youth at all, and unfortunately Endrick's not quite there yet, so we are going to lock them in for that last season and really try and push for one whole season with as much of a locked in starting 11 with young players as we can. But bear in mind, this challenge was about overall lowering the age of the team, the higher ages to a younger age, which we are doing very, very well. David Raya, 2nd place with the clean sheets, but the question is, we know we can win the Premier League, can we win a Champions League? Well, unfortunately, boys and girls, we can't, because it is going to be another exit against Real Madrid. This time, not as bad, only a 4-3 defeat, but that means we've got one last roll at the dice. It's not looking good. We are also going to be your runners-up in the FA Cup, this time against Liverpool, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We're runners-up in a Community Shield, 3-0 against, 3-0 is a bad loss. And we go out in the Carabao Cup. Now, if this is by penalties, I'm going to lose my head. Please do not be by penalties. Oh my God, we have not... Right, honestly, you can meme me in the comments now. You can meme me to the oblivion. We cannot win a penalty shootout. We are absolutely diabolical. That means this season, 1 trophy. That is all we've got to offer. The worst season out of any season. Now, I know we brought in a lot of young players, a lot of new faces, but I mean, come on, guys. Come on, can we win a penalty shootout? It is absolutely ridiculous. I just hope we've got an okay budget going into the last season. I would take anything over 50 million, and we're going to get 76. I can work with that any day. No complaints. But I mean, looking at the team, obviously we can see the players that done well. Jesus always doing well. Martinelli, Saka always doing well. Declan Rice doing average. Odegaard even doing quite average. 22 and 13 for this man here, who is 31 and will be getting sold. So probably his last season right there. 7 for Vitor Roque. And we need to have a conversation about this man. This man here is going to be on the biggest fraud watch you have ever seen. What a drop-off in performance. And I do think going into the last season, I'm going to use this brain and I'm going to change tactic, and I'm feeling a 4-2-4, so we can lock in 2 very good strikers. We've got the wingers, we've got the midfielders, and I think we can play a much more attacking style, because some of these players aren't scoring anywhere near the expectation that I have in here, and I want to see a Champions League. I will not be happy if we don't have one. So let's go over into Season 5, spend our money very wisely, because we've got one last chance, guys. One last chance. If not, it's up to you to complete it over on that Patreon. Now, I want to try and win it, because I think we can do it. Let's go see if we can. Another player that is going to be joining in 2029 is going to be Brossard. He comes in as quite a well-rounded Mexican midfield player. He doesn't cost us too much. He's not quite with us at the moment. His wage is absolutely pennies. And just to have it even in the under-21s, under-18s, it's a solid choice. Signing 1 for the last season is going to be Florim Abazi, coming in from Sheffield United. He comes in for 62 million, and this guy is absolutely incredible. 37 appearances, 1 goal, 9 assists. Drops above a 7 match rating. He was locked into this position, and if you just look at him, you have got a right back for 12 years if you carry on. This guy's an absolute machine, and actually a wonder kid with a very good personality. It's the dream package. Speaking of wonder kids and dream packages, look no other than Fabrice Herman, coming in from Toulouse, 20 years of age, and firstly, he's not the quickest, okay? He's not the quickest striker, but at the age of 20, 16 finishing, 14 composure, great determination, and he comes in for a total of 53 million and bags quite a fair few goals. Half the goals compared to the games, which is very good, because he's got the assists as well. This is better than what Endrick's doing. Endrick. And just with those 2 signings and a dream and a formation change, we have made it 5 out of 5. That is 5 out of 5 for the Premier League title. So Arsenal fans, if you're watching, smash the like button, because you're dominating England now. And I will say it's nice to see Emery in here. 2nd most amount of assists. Saka being the cover star is no surprise. Let's just be fair on that, okay? Saka is the star boy. But do you know what? The Premier League's been, it's been a bit of a walk in the park. 2 of our young players are also going to help us win an FA Cup final here, with Harwood into Martinelli, near post past Capril, a good goalkeeper, a bad decision right there. Saka down the right hand side to wrap up this game in the middle into Emery, trophy 2. And for the first time in the rebuild, we also win that Community Shield, meaning it's trophy free of the season. And do you know what? So far, so good. But you know what trophy I care about, and that's still to come. But before we get there, probably the worst loss of the video, a quarter-final exit on... Oh, it's penalties again. Penalties again against Ipswich. I don't even want to see the Champions League, because if we lose on penalties, there ain't going to be an outro today. I'm going to end the video because I can't believe what I'm seeing. We cannot win a penalty shootout. Let's go and check out the Champions League. So then, the Champions League started with us beating RB Leipzig 9-1 over 2 legs. I mean, 9-1. So, I mean, it's an absolute thumping to get into the quarterfinals, where we are going to beat Juventus 7-1. I mean, I will say Juventus were doing very, very bad. I believe they were like 7th in the league. But I mean, we put on a masterclass here. The semi-finals, we are going to go over and win 3-1 over Barcelona, which means, oh no, it means we match up against Real Madrid in the final. This isn't looking good. But to Budapest and to a final, and a goal for us with a wonder kid inside of 1 minute. Unfortunately, don't celebrate right away, because Mbappe is going to go through into Vinicius to tie it up in the 58th minute. But we are going to be your Champions League winners, thanks to Gabriel Jesus. That is right, Season 5, we have won everything. We have won, well, not everything, we've won everything we'd want in the video. We won the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the Community Shield, so it is going to be a quadruple winning season. Firstly, your challenge is to carry on this save with these insane wonder kids and win all 5 in one season. I was close, you might get the job done. That is your challenge. And of course, with that Patreon download, you not only get this rebuild file, you also get this amazing tactic, which is very different compared to what we had at the start of the video. And it's absolutely broken, because, I mean, we got the best out of the players. This man here with 32 goals, 42 from Saka, 36 assists. We really did extract the core performance out of these players. And looking down here, 27 and 7 for Jesus, Martinelli 26 and 25, 8 and 3, 3 and 3, 10 and 19 for Odegaard, who hasn't been the best this video, I will be honest. 13 and 24 for Emery, and the players I've left you with. I mean, if we filter like this, look how many young players you have at your disposal. We've only got a handful of older players who were there purely in case people got injured, really. You have got such a good selection of young players, and if you're not happy, you've got, well, not as much, to be fair. What is that, 47 million to go and spend, so you could also bring in more players. Have we got anyone in the young team? Let's go and have a little look. And I will say, by the way, look how nice this is. Look at the value of the squad. The utter value of this team is nuts. Now, going over to the under-21s, have you got anyone as well? You have. You have got Goodwin, who appears to be coming through. That is actually the player who I was meant to talk about, but forgot. I will be honest. He's an absolute baller, so I would promote him. You have got some serious talent to play with, and it could be a very fun save for the next sort of 5-10 years. But if you have enjoyed today's video and you've enjoyed what I have done to this team, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, comment below what you want to see next. And if you do want to see me live, I mean the absolute world, if you come on over to twitch.tv/JoshDaily, where we are playing some live Football Manager, making tactics, tactic tweaks, the whole shebang. It's all going on over there. I'll see you in the next one.